Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's ONAPSIS webinar. This will be covering the September SAP Patch Day. Today's speakers are Anand Koti and Hernan Formoso, two of our ONAPSIS SAP security specialists. Before I pass it off to them, just a few housekeeping notes. This session should run for about 30 minutes, give or take. We will be recording it, and we will be sharing the recording with you after this is over. And we always welcome your questions. Please ask them in the question panel you should see to your right. We will hold all questions to the very end where we will do a live Q&A. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to today's speakers. Anand and Hernan, please take it over.
Thanks, Elena. Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking time and joining the call. I'm Anand Koti, Solution Engineer. I've been in the security industry for over 10 years. Today, we're going to talk about who ONAPSIS is, importance of ERP, year-to-date patch metrics, and deep dive into September patch day, and a demo and a Q&A session as well. So with that, let's just go into the first slide here, which is who ONAPSIS is. ONAPSIS is a cybersecurity company that has been around for 10 years, and our focus always has been securing ERP applications. We have over 300 customers. Most of them are Fortune 2000 customers. And we have a certified add-ons for SAP, and we are a partner. We work very closely with SAP as well, and we have branches across the globe. And why is that ONAPSIS is focusing only on ERP? A lot of people ask this question, why only ERP? Why not anything else? The reason it is only ERP is because 92% of the global 2000 use SAP or Oracle EBS, and 77% of the revenue goes through this ERP application. So we have enough to work on these application. So we are just focusing on this because we have enough to cater this audience, right? So our clients. And as you all know, if you are investing in ERP applications are the core of your business, and you are running some mission critical processes on it. And here's a statement from Fossil Cisco saying that if ERP application is down, nothing runs, nothing can run, everything will come to an halt. So that's how critical is your ERP application. When you put your cybersecurity hat on yourself, you can have as many perimeter security as you want, right? But once someone gets past it, right? And the way we can always argue about how they can get past this firewalls. But once they get past it, what is your second line of defense? That's where we come into play and show you that cybersecurity is very critical. It's not just about roles, authorizations, SODs, but cybersecurity gives you a different dimension, and this dimension is very critical. Often people ignore it because it could be because of the resources, because of the talent shortage. But we always recommend, we always preach that cybersecurity is an important thing, and you should have a cybersecurity practice, and ERP is one of the core applications, and you should have experts working on your ERP application and focusing on ERP application, not just in general cybersecurity. With that, we'll just go into the patches, year-to-date patches metrics, right? Every month, SAP releases about 12 patches, right, at an average. And here are the metrics on the top. You can see left corner, you can see for January, February, March, every month you can see at an average of 12 patches have been released by SAP. And what you can notice is that out of these 12 patches, there are 3 to 4 critical hot news or critical patches that SAP releases, OSS knows that SAP releases. And the other thing that we have noticed is that, there is a spike in the last 2 months. I don't know how many people are looking at it, but in August and September, you can see about 5 to 6 security patches that are being released that are hot fixes. So we would highly recommend people to go into the systems, look at the versions of the systems, and see if this patch is relevant to them and try to patch their systems. Again, put back your cybersecurity hat on yourself. What you would notice is that you might take, every company is different. This is what we hear. We are different, we are large, we are complex. Every company is that. No one invests in SAP if they're a small company. If they're a big company is when a lot of people invest on it. So the point I'm trying to say is that if you're, however different you are, you have to patch it. If SAP is telling you to patch it, you have to patch your system today, because you might wait to patch your system, but the hackers are not waiting for you to fix your system. They are waiting to see who's the low-hanging fish here. They know the vulnerability. They know the version of the systems. They know everything about the system that potentially has an issue. All they need to do is to look around. Okay, this is a repeat slide. Yeah. So the other thing I also want to point out here is that the yellow line bar chart you see here, Onapsis is also not about just a cybersecurity company that has its own platform and they serve the customers. Onapsis is made of one of the biggest component of Onapsis is our research labs. Yeah, and we have one of our teammates who's from our research lab who's going to talk about the patches for the September patches. But one of the value proposition that Onapsis provides is our research labs. And our research labs not only tries to help our customers, but also try SAP finding vulnerabilities in their system. As you could see, every month there is some vulnerability that is reported by our research labs. Most of them are critical, some of them are high, and as you could see, the graph is always there. And if you can see, July is 1 month where we got over 50% of the vulnerabilities are reported by Onapsis Research Labs. It's a very significant number, because what you need to understand is not only we are serving our customers, but we are also, because of our partnership with SAP, we are also serving SAP because in turn they're serving our customers as well. The way you would know if a vulnerability is reported by a third party or not is if you open any patch, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you will see reported by is external party reported, right? It's S, then yeah, it's not like SAP is finding the vulnerabilities, but it's the third parties who are finding the vulnerabilities and reporting them. And with that, what I would do is I want to give a big round of applause to every researchers who are contributing to it, apart from our research labs. And here is an acknowledgement page from our SAP acknowledging our research people, and there are others as well. But here is our team who always tries to contribute to this Patch Tuesday. So every time you are finding or deploying a patch, you should thank these research teams that are out there working tirelessly to figure out the new vulnerabilities that needs to be fixed in the system. Now I'll hand it over to my team here, and he would go in deep dive into the September patches, and he'll give you a live demo of how Onapsis can help secure this system while you're taking your time. Because the most important thing here is that, as I said, every company will come back and tell me that they are different, and they would take their time to patch the system. But who is monitoring your system that no one is exploiting your system? It could be an internal exploit and an external exploit. This is where Onapsis will come into play. We have a detection rule. We have over 2,000 detection rules that will run against your system to make sure no one is exploiting your system while you're trying to do the you're patching your system, right? It might take a couple of months to patch your entire landscape. So, all right. Let me hand it over to my team here.
Okay, thanks, Hernan. Hello, everyone. My name is Hernan, and I am part of the product research team, which is involved in the security patch process here at the SAP Research Labs. As you should know, the SAP Patch Day was the last Tuesday always, and SAP released 16 security-related notes since the last patch day in August. Okay, taking a deeper look on this month's patches, we will notice that, as similar to the previous month, the most used products as SAP ABAP and Application Server Java are the ones with the most vulnerability fixes, with 5 security notes regarding Application Server Java. And let me say that this is the one with the highest quantity this month, and another 3 security notes for Application Server ABAP, completing 50% of this September's security patches. Also, business objects played a good role this month with 2 patches. Other commonly used products like HANA and HANA XSA were part of this month's patches too. Okay, now let's analyze at a vulnerable perspective. This month's patches include several types of vulnerabilities like information disclosure, and let me stop here just to say that this type is the most affected vulnerability for this period, followed by common injection, cross-site scripting, missing authorization check, and denial of service. In terms of risk scoring, in other words, the level of impact of those vulnerabilities, there were 4 hot news, 2 including the stack of Solman 7.2, 1 purely Java, and the other one involving Google Chromium update. Let's say that the last one, the Chromium one, is receiving constantly updates for almost 1.5 years. Also, I want to clarify that the hot news score is the highest priority in terms of criticality, and you should patch them as soon as possible. There is just one with high priority that impacts HANA XSA product, but has multiple vulnerabilities in it. Medium priority is the most common risk score with 10 nodes this month and include all types of vulnerabilities. Low priority has just 1 node with an information disclosure vulnerability. Okay, now we are going a little bit deeper with the hot new security nodes. Let's start with the Chromium patch one. With this vulnerability, an attacker could be performed if an SAP business client is running an outdated Chromium version. So a potential attacker could achieve SAP business client user access to execute malicious code. Let me remark that this node has the highest CDSS score this month with 9.8 from 10. The second one involves a coding section vulnerability in the SAP Application Server Java Web Container. And with this vulnerability, an attacker could take advantage of this because of the lack of input validation checks. Without these validations, you could upload web dynamic content with no restriction at all. Okay, now I'm going a little bit deeper with the security notes that ONAPSIS Research Lab reported on. The first one that I will talk about is the one concerning SAP Diagnostic Agent. This vulnerability will allow a solution manager administrator to abuse the diagnostic agent or the SMD agent and gain access to any SAP system connecting to the solution manager system. This attack requires administrator privilege, but the impact is really big. If you are a solution manager administrator, but you do not have all access to your SAP landscape due to restriction of duties or maybe geographical location, you will have the ability to connect to all of them. Let me add that our research lab not only working for new vulnerabilities, but are also checking the results of already published fixes to detect any gaps in the provided solution by SAP. Also, if you have already installed the original node released in the July patch day, you should also install this new security node. On the other hand, if you did not install the old node of July, you can directly proceed and install the new one. Let me add that this node has a CVSS score of 9.1 to 10, being one of the highest score of this month. Okay, let me go through the other one that ONAPSIS make the contribution, and this security node fixes two different bugs in SAP HANA XSA, where the most critical one allows an authenticator attacker to cause a denial of service exploitation simply by providing a specially crafted payload several times to an endpoint of an XS Advanced UAA component, depleting the database connection and consequently preventing the legitimate use of the service. Taking into consideration that this service is necessary to authenticate other XS Advanced web services, and there are maybe users created in application that take advantage of this feature, this attack could lead to some customers develop application also being inaccessible due to the lack of this authentication provider. Okay, being said that, now let me talk about our security product called the ONAPSIS Security Platform, or OSP. I will show you how our platform can help you to review your actual status with the vulnerabilities you have present in your SAP systems. We have different checks to do that. Checks for ABAP, for Java, for HANA, with XSA2, business object, and more. These checks will give you visibility on what are the security notices and patches that we need to install in order to be secure against all these vulnerabilities. Please let me show you how OSP works. And let me just give you a minute, I will be sharing my screen.
Hi, everyone. Just to note, we're about to start a live demo. You should see that pop up in the media player window. It should maximize automatically when the demo starts, but if it does not, you can drag and maximize that window yourself. And if anyone has any problems seeing it, please do feel free to put it in the Q&A panel, and we will try to make sure everyone is seeing everything properly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, just a quick intro. I have these assets that you can see here connected to my OSP, like H1L, like RH5, or SJ2. Now we are creating a new policy and give it a name. Just go to the Comply tab, go to Policies, to the Add Policy icon, and create new policy. Let's say I will put Demo for September webcast. And a quick description like security, set changes. Here we will group all the checks that are relevant to us for the patch day. In this case, we are going to focus on the ones that checks for missing SAP security nodes. We'll touch on edit. We will add a control and call missing nodes 2. This is, and now I will add the modules regarding or related to this SAP patch day. Let me select all our products. I will add them. And now we have it all. And just save and exit. Okay, now I'm going to the audit. Another compliance audit. What is this? This involves the new policy and adding one or a list of assets. Our assets are SAP systems. I will add the policy which is created. This is the asset part, and I will add my HANA with XSA and my Java stack with Solman 7.2. And now we hit run. Just wait just 1 minute till it ends, and this will generate an audit report. So basically, what we are going to do with this audit is to know the current status of our SAP systems in terms of security. And just to clarify, as you can see, the audit name is the same that we said before, and the same counts for the policy name. Okay, perfect. Now I am gonna click on View Report, Vulnerabilities tab, and select by issue. So now we can see that the Java security nodes have a vulnerability. As you can see here, the 3 hot news security nodes are reported in our audit report. I will show you the same for the HANA XSA component. As you can see, the last node is shown here in the audit report. Okay, guys, so this was a short demo regarding how OSP can help us reviewing the missing security nodes that we are having in our SAP system. Please, we strongly recommend having a strong patch policy in order to be secure for all these vulnerabilities. Okay, I think that is all for me right now, and I will pass to Elena and the question and answer.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Larry and Anand. That was a fantastic presentation. We are going to take live questions now. I think we're running good on time. So if anyone has any last questions, please do ask them in the Q&A panel. Let's see what we have here. Okay, I see just a few questions in here. First one, I think you may have covered this a little bit, Larry, but let's just go through it. What are the key differentiators with Solman 7.2 patch management, as I understand can be done by Solman 7.2? There we go. Yeah, Hernan, does that question make sense for you? Hello, Hernan. I think we may have lost him. Let's see really quick.
Sorry, just audio problems. I'm really sorry. So could you repeat me, please, question?
Yes, of course. The question as read says, what are the key differentiators with Solman 7.2 patch management, as I understand can be done by Solman 7.2?
No, maybe there is not a big difference, and Solman 7.2 patch management may report these nodes or should report these nodes, but we have a vast database with all the nodes, and we made patches and all our patch processes like for years of nodes. And as we know, Solman have like a 18 months just support package. That will be the main difference.
Thank you very much. Let's see here what else we have for questions. Okay, here's one. Is there any vulnerability that we saw today that will allow an attacker to make a real impact on a business scenario?
Yes, like really a lot of them, but the one that I will choose to answer that question because it can make a great impact on a business scenario is the denial of service attack, the HANA one. This could lead to an absolute of service for all the employees that will need that SAP system to work on a daily basis. So let's assume you have a HANA database with XSA running with an SAP ABAP layer on top of it. That ABAP system is the one that the company uses, like, let's say, for financial or HR purposes. So if you can stop it all, it's going to be like a really good mess, right?
Okay, thank you very much. Next question. Does this apply for systems running only ABAP instances?
So it's not just, this is Anand. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, this is not, ONAPS's security platform supports both ABAP stack and Java as well. So, and also what I want to answer is that, we're not about telling you what patches are missing. We are much beyond that, right? We have a lot of detection rules. As Larry was pointing out, we have a detection rule that he pointed out where a security node was missing, and we told you that there was a security node missing. But if someone is exploiting that security node, we also raise our hand saying that the concerned parties can be informed as well. So we have detection rules. We have and also the alerts that are around it as well.
Okay, great. Thank you for that answer. Next question. What is the correct way to patch the diagnostic agent vulnerability? Because there are two notes that are related to the same vulnerability.
Okay, I will take that. The correct way to patch this vulnerability is basically to follow the steps in the note 2823733, the one with the Windows support. Because if you install the previous node that was released in July, you will need to install this new one to be fully secure.
Awesome. Thank you, Larry. Okay, we're just up against time. I think we have time for one more question. Let's see here. If I have a HANA without XSA, will I still be vulnerable?
Okay, that will be an easy one, and it's no, you don't. You will need to have XSA running in order to be vulnerable. If you're just running a HANA database without XSA, you will not be vulnerable to this denial of service attack.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I think we're just about at time. If we didn't get to your questions today, please keep in mind we will reach out to you directly with an answer. We can see all of your questions in the panel. And of course, our speakers are both available for any questions. You'll see right here their contact information. Please feel free to reach out to them directly. They love questions. We're always happy to help. And I guess that's it for today. So thank you, Anand and Anand, for that fantastic presentation. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we hope to see you again at another ONAPS's webinar in the future.
Okay, thank you very much for all the attendees. Thanks. Bye-bye.